head over to nationalpensions.com. With the 412(e)(3 plan, your future is in safe hands. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling. Perfect for small business owners who like their finances as predictable as Monday mornings. Stable contributions, ironclad guarantees, and serious tax advantages. It's the trifecta of financial security. And with National Pension Partners, you get a team of brainiacs, attorneys, CPAs, actuaries, ensuring your retirement is as secure as Fort Knox. Oh, did we mention the free consultations? That's right, you get a personalized expert proposal with $0 down. So, if you want a retirement plan that's as reliable as your morning coffee, head over to nationalpensions.com. Because when it comes to your future, boring is the new exciting. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling. For more details, check out National Pension Partners at nationalpensions.com. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling.
One of the things that business owners forget a lot is to prepare for their own retirement.
Hi, my name's Nick Palavita, and today I'm with a very special guest, a certified financial planner, a chartered retirement plan specialist, and president of National Pension Partners, Max Truliette. Max, tell me what you do at National Pension Partners.
Well, Nick, we help successful small businesses and professionals put together retirement plans that provide them the maximum retirement benefits and big tax deductions at the same time.
Well, how do you do this?
Well, we get on an internet conferencing system with the client. We review their goals, what they want to accomplish, and then put together strategies to help them in implementing a retirement plan that benefits them, not everybody else.
Well, that sounds really good, but how much does this cost?
Well, it's really not bad because the first consultation is free. That allows us to go through and discover whether this strategy works for that business and for you as the business owner and helping you maximize your retirement.
Well, Max, how do we get this free appointment?
It's really pretty simple, Nick. You can either go to our website below or call us at 877-252-1692, and then we can set up a time with either myself, Nick, or one of our other retirement plan specialists, another CPA or advisor in the office, to go over this with you and make sure it fits for you.
Hi, my name is Lewis Haupt. I work with National Pension Partners, and I work with businesses to allow them to put the maximum away that they can for themselves and to save taxes.
Hi, I'm Brad Coyle, and I'm the brokerage manager at National Pension Partners. We're always analyzing plan fund choices in order to ensure the participant's success.
If you want more information on how we can help you and your business put more money away in a retirement plan than you ever thought possible, contact us at the website below or call us at 877-252-1692.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the media show on the Pod TV network. I'll be your host for a while on our network, and we're going to be discussing all things media. Pod TV, we're going to be bringing in, looks like, a couple new shows this quarter. We're working on that. One will be a sports show, which we've never had before, maybe two sports shows, and another news show. But with that, we do have our guests from around the world. We're going to bring in Sri from the World Talent Economic Forum in Bangladesh. I don't know if he's got any new shows that are going to be coming in from Bangladesh or Asia. And then we have Sasha Starr, who runs a lot of shows, the chess show, which I actually wasn't able to see, but I actually saw it, but I wasn't able to watch it. It was pretty good. It was about the U.S. Championship that's going on, which I'm trying to follow. And I thought you guys had some really good commentary on some of the games that took place there in St. Louis, so that's pretty good. Also, of course, Russia, China, Ukraine, and modern investments. Which Russia, China, Ukraine still going on. I mean, you know, when is that war going to end, Sasha? You know,
our show is the only one for the last a little bit more than 3 years, we're talking about the victory for Ukraine. That victory will be at the end of the day, regardless whether it's a military victory or negotiated peace, whatever it might be. In any case, Ukraine is a big winner in this affair because it could single-handedly withstand pressure from the second biggest and strongest army in the world, which is Russian army, although today it's not number 2, it's number 3, because number 2 is definitely Ukrainian army.
Yeah. Yeah. And World Talent Economic Forum, it looks like you're going gangbusters over there in Bangladesh, Dr. Sharif. And what are you doing in terms, you bring people in from all over the world. Looks like the headquarters of the world is now Dhaka. So how's WTF doing?
Pod TV is headquartered in USA, so definitely we do focus on Pod TV. We distribute all of our shows under the Pod TV. One thing I think right now I can share with this, Sasha, I think you are origin from Ukraine. So we are, with my World Talent Economic Forum, with Ukraine, we are making a very positive synergies in terms of business, in terms of agriculture. Ukraine has a lot of agricultural production. Right now they are having challenge. And Bangladesh has around 180 million people. So we are making a synergy in the agricultural sector. Besides that, United Nations are discussing with Bangladesh Army. They want to utilize, or US want to utilize Bangladesh Army for UN protections and all of the things. This may be the positive things around the world, how we can grow besides this shows and everything. But for media, I just want to say that already we are introducing Pod TV in different part of Bangladesh, in India and South Asia. We are getting very positive response from the people because Bangladeshi people like this kind of talk show. So so they always love to attend different kind of talk shows and others. Maybe in the future, so you can visit Bangladesh with your team and we can organize a live face-to-face talk shows. In next year, June, we have a political conference, even though, you know, Bangladesh has political change and all of the things. With my colleagues and friends from USA, from Australia, they are helping me, and also Bangladesh Defense, Diplomat, and all of the people are joining. Maybe that is one another positive place where Pod TV can join and collaborate with a lot of peoples. Bangladeshi people like American people. Bangladeshi people follow American culture. Our university follow American syllabus. So I think this will be very good time for you.
Really? Wow. So the thing is, yeah, I did know some countries follow the U.S. and some countries, like in Spain, they got mad at Trump, and Pedro Sanchez, our prime minister, told him to go shove it when he was trying to do some policies that were anti-Spain. So the Spanish people here are really pretty independent. And boy, on the internet, we got such negative pushback from the Americans. I was going, I don't think they've ever been over here. They have no idea what the European Union looks like. So all they did was criticize the European Union like we're a third world country over here, which I hate to say it, we're not, you know. So, but I enjoy going back and forth. So I go across the pond all the time. And they say they're going to bring the Concorde back next year. We'll see. I'm serious. So this way it'll cut down the flight time to 3 hours to go from, if you want to take the Concorde. But I'm not sure if I want to take the Concorde. I've heard the ride is kind of like horrible. But,
is it the Concorde, the original model, or it's something else similar?
No, it's going to be an updated Concorde. And then there's another U.S. Company that's actually trying to develop a supersonic jet that is super updated. They also brought in the 777X, which is supposedly to replace the Airbus 350 or even the Airbus 380. It's going to be a pretty good plane.
Hey, Nick, y'all have something in Spain that they've been trying to get here, as Jacoby can tell you, for decades and everything like that, but sometimes the politics gets in the way and all along those lines. So if you had the chance yet to ride light rail in Spain? Because I know they've been trying to get light rail here in various parts of the United States. I know they've got it in California, they've got it in other places, but North Carolina keeps still running into resistance from corporations and colleges and other places like that.
That's because you're backwards. I ride the rail every day here, Mark. I mean, the thing is, yesterday I was on the rail up into La Roque, and then the day before I went to places in Barcelona because they have a very good transit system. It's not like what you see in the U.S. The only one who's close is Manhattan, New York, and that's close, but no cigar. So here, the Spain actually has the second best railway system in the world, only behind China. Seriously. So the U.S. is so antiquated. They even made fun of it on some of the Spanish websites. They show the Americans with the caboose, and they have the Chinese with these high-speed AVE trains, which is what we have here in Spain. So no, I don't have a car. You don't need a car. You just take light rail. You have trams that run upstairs. You have subways that go downstairs, and you have a train that runs parallel. So between all the subways and the trains and the trams, you don't need a car. And they build everything compact, so you don't have to run all over the place. It's not like the United States at all. The U.S., you have to have a car. So when I go to the U.S., I have to rent a car. I don't have a choice because everything's so spread out. But in Spain, I do have a choice, and so I don't have a car.
But don't forget that the American road system and cities, they were built around cars.
You're right. The road system was built around cars, right? And the thing is, there's some cities that right now, like in Seattle, where I'm from, Sasha, you're in gridlock during rush hour. You can't move anywhere. You bring your car out and you just sit and you wait for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Then you move a little bit, you wait for, I'm not kidding. And Seattle actually at one time had a monorail, one of the first monorails that went 1 mile. Then they decided not to do it. And now you got this trash. So, you have some very systemic problems, extremely poor leadership in the United States. And so you're kind of a backward country.
Nick, I have a question for you.
Why do I have a backward country like that? What,
Nick, I have a question for you. What's your plan with Pod TV?
Oh, what's the plan with Pod TV?
Yeah.
Only the shadow knows. That's a very good question. Well, the thing is, I'm actually looking for other distribution centers. There's 2 of them out there we've been discussing, because right now StreamYard is limited to 8 places that we can go to, so it has limitations. So I'm working on trying to get them to 30 places. When I'm saying that, you can go to wonderful channels like Rumble, which would be very interesting, TikTok, which we go direct to, and a bunch of other ones. So what I'm looking to do, and there's a lot of them out your way in the eastern parts of the world that I'm not even familiar with. It's like Spain. They have all these distribution channels, but you don't know what they are. So the plan is, and it's just going to take time, is to go through, because no one has a roadmap to this, which streaming service has the best distribution points. StreamYard, which we use, is limited to 8. Then we put on Roku, which
I think you do the webinar, you can actually go above 8.
Yeah. Which one?
What Kim has been talking about with the webinar feature and everything, I think you can go
Yeah,
above 8.
yeah. But the thing is, it's mainly to increase the distribution points, Dr. Shreve. So you end up getting more viewers because you're in more channels. The places that seem to be blocked are cable TV, almost impossible to get on cable, and almost impossible to get to the 3 majors in the United States that don't exist here in Spain. That's CBS, NBC, and ABC. They don't even you don't even get them here in Spain. No one knows who they are. The only 2 major channels that come into Spain are the BBC and CNN. That's it. If you're not BBC, CNN, they're not here.
Nick, it looks like we've got a major story that's breaking that has to do with, and maybe they'll open up the web and everything, but it's your favorite people, lawyers, and it was actually reported early today in Bloomberg, but it says thousands of plaintiff complaints, millions of pages of internal documents, and transcripts of countless hours of depositions are about to land in U.S. courtrooms, threatening the future of the biggest social media company. So the blizzard of paperwork is a byproduct of 2 consolidated lawsuits accusing Snap Incorporated, Snapchat, Meta Platforms Incorporated, Facebook, and Instagram, ByteDance's, LDD's, TikTok, and Alphabet Inc.'s YouTube of knowingly designing their platforms to addict users, allegedly resulting in youth depression, anxiety, insomnia, eating disorders, self-harm, and even suicide. They said this litigation has been brewing for more than 3 years and has had to overcome numerous hurdles, including the liability shield that has protected social media platforms from facing user harm lawsuits. But it looks like that might be coming to a head, and they might be actually getting to the courthouse and everything like that. So does this mean that we're going to have a break of certain monopolies and everything along those lines? Because those are some big companies that are about to be slapped with a very big lawsuit.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll tell you, let's say in the streaming media world, the 2 big mahafs, as they would say in Yiddish, are the YouTube. They have tons of people, and then Facebook. They have tons of people. In other words, it's almost impossible to break the chain of Facebook and YouTube. And they do create now reels and the algorithms to once you put on something that you like, or they try to bring more of it for you to see. So if like Jacoby likes the Miami Hurricanes like I do, and he sees one of the reels of Miami, then they're going to see more and more Miami Hurricane stuff will come on. So he watches more and more of it. So I think it's the same thing, Mark. If somebody gets into a thread that's depressing, then they're going to get more and more and more of that stuff thrown at them, because their goal is to keep your eyeballs watching this stuff. And see, we don't really have that goal. I need to say that. If they don't want to, look, I like to watch the chess show. Okay, so I watch Sasha's show with Dan Fleetwood and Ken Reagan. I think it's great. But other people don't want to see it. I'm not going to force that down their throat. You know, I mean, that's kind of like ridiculous.
Yeah, but apparently, and maybe just hope you got some thoughts around this, but the social media companies have filed multiple motions to dismiss the cases on the grounds that something called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act prevents them from being held accountable for content posted on their site. Haven't we been held accountable for content posted on our site?
230 is your big, easy way out. When I first got involved in it, it was really weird. What happens is 230 was passed, obviously, by big tech, and it gives basically immunity towards streaming services. So the thing is, if we're like, what are we, Pod TV, we're a streaming service and we put on a lot of different shows. And the company that owns Pod TV, which is IBM TV, International Broadcast Media TV, during our prior days that some people remember, we were IBM TV until IBM ripped our URL away. But anyway, the thing is, they're immune from prosecution under Section 230 because they're a platform that allows for distribution. Now, here's what happens, just like any law thing goes on. They can make the other attorneys can try and make arguments that said, oh, no, you actually control your distribution, control your content, blah, blah, blah. So they'll spend time in court, I believe, relating to those particular arguments. Not only you control it, you manipulate it. So be what the judge says. I mean, 230 is really your way, is your exit out in the event you're sued. You just say, hey, all I'm doing is providing a service. But being in Spain, unfortunately, my company's not domiciled in Spain. It's domiciled in Florida. Well, that's okay.
Domiciled in Florida, you got all.
That's domiciled in Florida, but it's okay. I'm going to defend. I'm re-domiciling one of my other companies in Florida because I'm a member of the Florida bar. I can defend it. But having it overseas is even better, because then the U.S. plaintiffs' attorneys have to reach. Let's say we re-domicile in Bangladesh. Okay, they have to go all the way to Dhaka to file a lawsuit. I'm serious. And they may not find the Bangladeshi government to be very sympathetic toward.
Well, speaking of the government and media, there was a major story that was last week, and I know folks may have thoughts around this as well, but media outlets, including Fox, which a lot of people would say is one on the right, and CNN, which some people may say is on the left, or at least on the middle and everything, don't want to sign the Pentagon's press access rule, because that's one of the latest things that Pete Hegseth was doing, was he wanted to limit what access people had to the Pentagon and other things within the Defense Department and everything like that. And apparently they don't want to sign this rule because it's going to be a rule of how they will govern themselves when they're going to the, what is it, Department of War now? Even though the big sign that I'm looking at right now still says Department of Defense.
Yeah, that could happen. Yes, Sasha, you have a comment.
Nick, I'm wondering about something. I have 3 shows on Pod TV, but they're so different that I sent to my friends, my audience, I sent them links to my shows. And some people who like chess shows, they are not interested in Ukrainian or investment show, and vice versa, same thing.
Sure.
So I'm sending some links to one audience, some links to another, and yet some links to a third audience. There are few people that, for example, they like modern investing and they like Ukrainian show, but they don't care about chess show. Okay, so that's all understandable. So, Nick, I think there might be a fundamental problem to plug all concept of Pod TV with its 60, 70, 150 shows into some kind of a place, whether it's, I even don't know where you could theoretically plug it all in. I don't think that such situation probably doesn't even exist. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is the way I feel it. You have a good chance to plug in individual shows based on its merits, production quality, the subject to be discussed, and so on. There are probably chances, but to plug in all Pod TV concept to somewhere, just give me an example.
You know, Sasha, we actually do that on our Roku channel. So all the shows broadcast in a loop on the Roku channel, and the Roku channel. What?
What's the benefit to anybody?
Well, that's the whole point. That's the thing as I brought up. I'm going like the Roku channel, which people don't know is very expensive to set up and maintain, and it's a streaming channel that anybody goes into Roku can find Pod TV. It has its own icon, just like any other place, and they can find it. But I don't know about the efficiency of that relative to another way of doing this, which, like, here's what I do with the chess show. When you produce it, I redistribute it to all the chess groups in Facebook, and there's only 1 or 2 in LinkedIn, so it doesn't go too far in LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't have one, but in Facebook, they have tons of chess groups. So what I do is I redistribute to all those chess groups. Unfortunately, there's no way right now that I know of that once you produce your chess show, it will automatically go to Facebook chess groups. It won't do it. So it'll go to Facebook, and then from there you have to redistribute it to the Facebook chess groups. And that's where you get a bigger following. But here's one of the problems with Facebook. Now you get a report. Well, how many people actually saw it?
Nobody.
Yeah. Okay, and the only ones I'm able to get reports for the Angry Geeks and the Timeshare Show. I don't know how they do it, but they get like tons of followers on Facebook, and I get reports. I also get reports from Dr. Sharif's World Talent Economic Forum. They get tons of followers, but when it comes to distributing through Facebook, Sasha, you can go to the Facebook groups and distribute. Then you say, well, how many people actually watched it? And you won't know because they don't give the metrics. The other thing is, if I distribute it too much, they stop it because they think, hey, you're using it as a advertising tool.
Yeah, it's an advertising. You use it.
I know.
And everything like that. But I do have a question for Jacoby because he's in the space and everything along those lines. But
maybe Jacoby can solve it. I can't solve.
But there used to be a time, and maybe this is the solution we're looking for and everything. And I remember a time that I remember there being aggregators. Jacoby, are those aggregators still out there that would actually arrange for a scheduled time for the show to go out? I'm thinking about like Hootsuite and a number of other things that used to exist where you would have aggregator forms and everything. And do those things still exist that Nick could use if he wanted to use them and everything like that?
And an aggregator to push out information to all the different social medias. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
You're using that with StreamYard. That's all StreamYard is. It's the same thing with Restream. Restream is an aggregator. It pushes this video to where if you look at up at the top, it tells you where it's going. That's all Restream and StreamYard, and that's all they are. You getting
but I thought that I remember there used to be aggregators for what Nick does, which I don't think he uses, which was aggregators for post. Like, because that's what I thought I remembered.
Yeah, you get Hootsuite and all the other stuff. I mean, it's the same thing. That's I think this all goes back to what Dr. Sharif is asking. What is the point? What are you trying to do? Yeah. Because if you're not, if the goal is to create a TV station or a TV brand new TV thing that people are going to sign up for, that's completely different than, hey, we're going to create a podcast setup, or hey, we're just going to create a section of videos that we're going to run with. If you have no
I want Nick to come back on, but
where you want to go, the Angry Geeks, they created a podcast. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. Dr. Sharif has his podcast. He set up and he's riding with it and doing his podcast the way he does his podcast. What is Pod TV? We don't know. That's the nebulous thing is, hey, it's whatever we're going to decide it is at this moment. If you don't have any idea of what you want to do with it, then it's hard to figure out what the solutions are. That's like saying, hey, I want to go somewhere.
Well, I mean, if you look at their description, they describe themselves as a Pod TV network, which means that you are implying that you want to be
that doesn't mean
a network.
No. That doesn't mean anything. Saying I'm Pod TV network doesn't mean anything. That doesn't tell me what you want to do. There are podcasts that call themselves networks. There are actual short comedy clips that call themselves networks.
Yeah, but I mean, I got the impression, like I said, I can't speak for them because they're the two owners, and Nick can jump back on if he wants to, but I got the impression it was like Binge or a couple of the other ones that have succeeded and failed. I mean, it was out of, I think he's out of the Maryland area, but he was doing it. It's not Eric, but it's somebody else who was doing like a Black Business Network kind of thing and everything like that. But that was going to be a network of Black shows and everything like that. So I was on the impression, even in the new ones that they're recruiting, that they want to be a network of shows. Now, whether that network is going to be various shows, which is what I think of as a network, because even if I think of ABC and CBS and PBS, they've got everything from fishing shows to economic shows to a number of other things.
Is that what Pod TV is trying to be?
That's what Pod TV is trying to be, in my understanding.
So if Pod TV wants to be a network, then you have to have scheduled hours when these shows are on. That's not what's going on.
They are supposed to be scheduled hours.
What's going on is you have recorded shows that get views outside on the internet. You don't have a scheduling set up on Roku or like a YouTube TV or a Direct TV that, okay, we're watching that's not happening. What it's set up more so is you're trying to be something like a YouTube, like another collection of shows that get posted on a particular Pod TV. So you're just in a network of podcasts.
But you tell me, if you go by the schedule, it's supposed to be a schedule, and I try to keep that schedule up. But there is supposed to be a schedule that has the show. Hold on a second. That has the shows airing. Like Sasha is supposed to run at 3:00 on Saturday. He records on Friday, but he's supposed to run at 3:00 on Saturday. If you look at the schedule, there are other times that the show is supposed to run as well. And the same with Sharif. Sharif is supposed to air at 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning and everything like that. And then he's supposed to re-air and everything. So there are times that it is supposed to be a schedule.
Mark, can you watch Dr. Sharif on Wednesday?
Can you watch Dr. Sharif on Wednesday? I mean, what do you mean, can you watch him on Wednesday? Yeah, I mean, you can watch him on Wednesday, but that's not this.
So it's a collection of podcasts. It's just that your podcast records on a particular day. You're a collection of podcasts. Okay. That's what the TV station is, or this network is. It's just a collection of podcasts. You're not, we're on live right now, but can you watch this in an hour?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you look at the schedule, on, like, so take Timeshare, which is coming up next and everything. Timeshares will air first thing in the morning at, I think, like 12 or something like that. But if you look at the schedule, you can know when Timeshares is going to run.
Listen to what I'm saying, Mark. Mm-hmm. This is airing right now. We are live and in charge right now.
Right.
What time is it? 12:31 here in Durham, North Carolina.
Right. On these
At 1:30, can I watch this same show?
Yes, you can, but you can do that with
At 2:30, can I watch this same show?
Yeah, you can go back and watch it on YouTube.
So, in other words, it's a recorded entity. It's a recorded thing. It's a recorded podcast that we have that we're placing on we're just grouping them all together. Just if you go to, for example, if you go to YouTube, matter of fact, I'll even bring up YouTube. You know what? One of the fun people that I've been that I love watching, Mehdi Hassan. You know Mehdi Hassan?
I haven't heard
You ever
of
watch Mehdi Hassan? He's fun to watch. Matter of fact, we won't even do Mehdi Hassan. We'll do one of the cool kids that is making it big right now. I brought him up before. Dean Withers. Dean Withers is fun to watch. You know what? He has a whole channel on YouTube, right? Has a whole channel with all of his YouTube videos on there. Matter of fact, we'll do one that even has a particular schedule. We'll say Destiny. Destiny's fun to watch. Y'all ever watch Destiny? Destiny's interesting. He's good. He's right now traveling around. Matter of fact, Canada. There's a group from Canada that's come down and traveling the U.S. doing they use the F word, but it's the the U.S. or something. It's Pangolin, or I cannot remember, but it's a Canadian group that's come down. They partnered with Destiny and some other YouTubers or some other influencers that are out there. He has 850,000 followers. He goes around. He has these videos, right? And these videos are scheduled. Mm-hmm. He has these lives. He has these podcasts that play. They are live. They're grouped together. Mm-hmm. This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is no different than what you're doing with Pod TV. You're just creating a Pod TV that's not on YouTube, that you want people to go off of YouTube to go to Pod TV, to come back to YouTube to watch the Pod TV. It's just you're collecting your group. You could just honestly, you should just be a website and put these podcasts listed in there, take the traffic off the website, highlight on the social media channels, and that's it. Let people podcast directly to your site. That's it. That's what you should do. But again, it all boils down to what you want to do.
A question. So do you think is it a viable proposition, for example, to take all shows separately? Okay, I'll be talking about my shows because I understand it better than anything else. Let's see, and you put them on YouTube channel only. And you run these 3 shows, they can rebroadcast at any time and so on. And because YouTube, appears to me much more popular than Pod TV, for example. So a lot of people simply going on YouTube, and because YouTube gives you right away all kind of options, what you want to see, what you might be interested to see, and so on. So you might get actually much more audience this way. What do you think?
Again, it all boils down to how you want to market it and what you want to do with it. For example, this guy is doing exactly what you were simply just discussing right there. Taking his show, he's taking this Reese Waters show. He started out with maybe about a couple hundred followers on YouTube, even less than that on YouTube. He also posts it elsewhere, but he does his podcast. As you see, he sets up a premiere, which is what you're talking about, Mark. You have a premiere. Oh, at this particular time. Right now, there are 3,200 people watching this premiere of what he's doing right now.
The other protesters in this area, so really something to see. Right now, we've got
so he's talking to people and doing other things and doing his reports. He also, you can set up, hey, we're going to have this release and upcoming, and people will log in for updates on what's coming up. What's this upcoming release, which he does a lot of. He set up this whole members only thing. There's a lot. That's another way of people making money. So Sasha, yeah, I mean, I would place a lot of your stuff on YouTube. I would honestly create a page on YouTube just like this. Create your page, have it situated on there, have it on there, and telling your having your playlists so people can come through and click on, hey, I want the playlist of this. Same
And I
thing
think
with
that's somewhat.
podcast.
I think that's
All
somewhat
of
what
it.
Rick has done on the network, but Rick can explain it better than I can because, like I said, he's got people that are in California that are part of this trade and everything. So one, he got the models, which have been very good and everything like that. But he has somebody that Rick, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you have somebody on your? I won't say staff.
Adam,
That's not
we
a
got
good
Adam
word.
who's just helping with the show and trying to. We've been week by week for the past 3 sets of shows. We've been trying to figure out how to revamp the show to make it stickier, and so far we haven't succeeded. Because we've looked, our demographic is 100% male, but I'd say that that's not too far from the demographic for a lot of pod TV shows. But we've got no new subscribers, even though we've added a bikini girl. Right. People drop in and they stay for 1 minute and they figure out, well, this isn't something I can beat off to, and they leave.
I don't even think it's that. It's not about beating off to or whatever else. What it is a matter of finding your niche audience. And this is what, again, all these people on YouTube, yes, there are YouTube has close to 900 billion followers or something like that, some crazy amount.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount because even when me and
what they do is they sometimes, I mean, it is a matter of luck, but also it's a lot of plugging away. And
definitely a lot of plugging away and everything. But just really quickly,
hold on real quick, Mark. Let me finish.
Yeah.
And if you see what this gentleman did, if you see he's got Instagram, Patreon. You need a Patreon, Sasha. Go ahead and set up a Patreon to where, hey, I'm going to give you, if you give me a particular amount of money, one of the biggest ones that does it, Star Talk Radio, they have their own setup. Their Patreon is, you can ask a question to us live on air, or we'll take your question and answer your question live on air about sciences and everything else. So he has a Patreon that gets you extra stuff in the background that you cannot get on your regular YouTube channel or your regular channel that you have. He also has TikTok. TikTok, what you want to use is TikTok. You want to get out those quick, punchy videos. Those quick, punchy videos is what gets people interested. So if you have a quick stock pick, set up a TikTok. Hey, I got a stock pick for today. Boom, put it on TikTok. Put a 30-second video of you picking a couple of stocks and seeing what you did. Yesterday, people pick that up, and that's how you get followers. Same thing, and that goes on your Twitter. You send people straight to that TikTok video that you made. The more views you get on TikTok, the more money that you can potentially make. And then if you go and then throw that into your Patreon, where, hey, I'm going to give you some special tips on stocks if you just donate to this Patreon, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. You make money off of the Patreon. That's your marketing. Patreon is basically, it's your own business. And then just like this gentleman did on that website that he created, he has his own, cups and everything else. You create your own logo. But again, it all goes back to what Pod TV wants to be.
Well, supposedly we have that, and Brandon's supposed to be running that, but it's not maintained. But it's supposed to be a store that is there.
Yep, and Pod TV could be a central location of a link to, okay, we're going to start sending people to these podcasts rather than, hey, we're going to control all these podcasts and you can only go to Pod TV to watch it and only see it on Pod TV or on these particular channels. Because if you look at the top, Sasha, I don't even know if it's being distributed to a YouTube channel that you have.
So therefore, do his personal YouTube. I mean, most of the shows are, but I don't have access to his personal YouTube. We've talked about that and everything.
So it's just a matter of having your YouTube channel. You can use StreamYard, which a lot of people, again, StreamYard is just an aggregator. StreamYard sends it wherever you want it to go. StreamYard is not a TV station.
It doesn't claim.
It's the same thing. You can use Restream. Restream is the same thing. And it just gives you the options of bringing on guests, taking off guests. If you learn some the other parts of it, which is tinkerish for younger group, that's dealing with OBS and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
But truthfully, just use StreamYard, set up your YouTube channel, send everything there, create your logo, set up a Patreon, set up your socials, use Pod TV to, send it to your YouTube where anytime you're on anything, then you get copies of it. Then you start to chop up what you're talking about. Right. And on like this show, You can edit it out. Hey, this is the show that I was on, and I was talking about this, and I want to show everybody. And you can actually do commentary about what you were talking about, and then expand on what you're talking about on your own channel. That's the way you actually really make it big. It's a legitimate business.
Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How much does this Reese guy make off of all his stuff?
I mean, I'll have to look him up, but if you look at, he started out with 30. Well, when I started looking at him, he had 32,000 followers. Now he's up to 613,000. He has 1,600 videos. He's got his own website. My guess is he's making a decent amount of money right now. I mean, he's got to be making at least 30 to 40,000 a year.
Is he a big enough game that other people, that he gets to go on other stuff? Or is that not the game at all anymore?
Oh, that's definitely the game. Like I said, with this guy, Destiny's huge. He only has a few more followers than the other guy. He has 850,000 followers. But now he's traveling around with, was it Pang? P-A-N? Yeah.
But to your point, Toby, if I had Sasha's website, and I don't know if you did this, Sasha, I don't even know if Jonathan did it, but when y'all were on Jim Peters' show, and Jim Peters got his own popularity with a certain crowd and everything, then that can actually go on your website and everything. Because I can tell you that everybody that I've interviewed, including probably this guy this morning and everything, has reached out to me. I mean, the conductor once, the one I was talking about, that I interviewed him on Online Dinner Party, that was doing the symphony show here in Durham and everything, but he wants that interview so that he can put it on the symphony website and he can put it on their information. Because a lot of times people will ask you, just like Jim Peters did, do you mind if I cut it up and everything like that? Because that's a question I get asked often when people come on the show, whether it's people that we've enjoyed, like the political people, whether it's authors or healing artists or whatever, or healing people in the healing practices and everything like that. But they've all, I'd say almost to a man and a woman, they have asked me for information so they can put it on their personal websites.
So check this out. And this is what you were talking about, Rick, in terms of, so this is another guy that I really, really enjoy. Honestly, Rick, you would love him too, a lot, just to watch his videos. It's Professor Dave Explains. He's freaking hilarious because he gets asked on a lot of different shows. Matter of fact, he was on not Chris Cuomo. He was on Pierce Morgan, because Pierce has tried to get him on multiple times. If you see, he has 4.3 million or 4.4 million followers, basically. And he gets tons and tons of views. He had a whole, as I was talking about, Sasha, where, you go on different shows and then you come back and then you commentate. He was just recently on this debate dealing with anti-vaxxers. And
that's the question I was going to ask you, related to Sasha's show, related to Rick's show, related to a number of other shows. Last month, that's part of the information before you've played and everything that has come up with one of the founders of the network. It's not the one that's in the background, but the other one and everything, the young lady and everything along those lines, is that YouTube has a habit, if you get controversial and you say controversial things, that they will then yank you. And that's why I think that there are certain people on this network that are not big fans of YouTube, because there have been shows that have been pulled because of what they have said about Ukraine and Russia. That being one example, or they said about sex, being like what Rick's done.
So every social media platform does that. There are particular words you can't talk about. Right. If you talk about trans issues, you're getting pulled off of TikTok. If you go into rape and everything else, you're gonna probably get hit in YouTube. So there's actually one of these younger YouTubers that uses the word grape instead of the word rape.
Really? If the algorithm hears the word rape, yes. We said rape several times last night. Are we going to be in trouble?
Well, I mean, it's the algorithm, and it may get dinged. But knowing these things and being more knowledgeable about them, you can work your way around these algorithms, just like that kid has done when he does these discussions with a lot of the Trump supporters, and he's trying to talk about the situation with Donald Trump and uses the word grape. The algorithm's not going to pick up the word grape. So with this gentleman here, he doesn't really go into those algorithms as much, because he's talking about science. and he was talking about an anti-vaxxer. And he was, again, Sasha, he was on a debate stage. It was recorded, it was videoed out and everything. And this is what I think you would be great at. It's coming back with background commentary on extra things that you wanted to talk about, especially dealing with the show that you're on, dealing with stocks. Come back and say, okay, well, maybe I should have, or hey, I meant to push this more, like with this gentleman.
I traveled to New York City for a live debate against some very prominent anti-vaxxers. It was actually a very productive exchange where we were able to find a lot of common ground and everyone in the audience left a little smarter. I'm just kidding. It was a complete shit show where one of the frauds basically rage quit. Who are these assholes and how did it go down? Let me tell you all about it. So this event was part of Pangburn anti-RFK tour, which at first was just supposed to involve me going to a few cities and debating people in the audience about RFK's policies. I thought it would be a good idea to involve someone who has more experience than me with the primary literature on vaccines and epidemiology, so I suggested Dan Wilson of the channel Debunk the Funk, since he's a working scientist in a relevant field, and he has experience debunking anti-vax frauds. The first stop was New York City, and everything was set to go, but then we were told that anti-vax Steve Kirsch was willing to debate us on stage as the main feature of the night, though he wanted a partner as well, and he settled on Pierre Kory, the disgraced former doctor who made a fortune selling ivermectin. We agreed, knowing that it was a golden opportunity to shit on some worthless frauds who have had it coming for way too long, and with that, the lineup was settled. Of course, they went back and forth with Travis of Pangburn Productions nitpicking the contract, making 5 rounds of revisions, and all kinds of extravagant demands, almost as though they didn't actually want to go through with it all and were just pretending for the optics. But eventually everything was worked out, so we dug into the details. The topics of the debate were to be as follows. 1. Vaccines and autism. Is there a link? 2. New measles outbreak. Is misinformation to blame? 3. Did the COVID vaccines save lives? RFK Jr. pulls $500 million in funding for vaccine development. Is this good for the USA? 4. Are kids better off being fully vaccinated according to the CDC vaccination schedule or fully unvaccinated? 5. Should we eliminate liability protection for vaccine manufacturers? 6. Is ivermectin effective against COVID-19? As you can see, most of these topics are fucking insane, most notably number 4, and it is beyond disheartening that anyone thinks any of this needs to be discussed. But that's the world we live in today. Now, Pierre was whining like a little bitch the entire debate, constantly disengaging to complain to the producers about how awful we were being, since douchebag bullies like him aren't used to getting smacked around by someone bigger and stronger. Because of his toddler attitude, things were cut a bit short and we didn't hit topics 4 and 5, and just skipped straight to 6, after which Pierre decided he'd had enough and he left the stage. Even the heavily skewed audience full of insufferable anti-vax trolls desperately shouting over us the entire event weren't enough to help Pierre keep his cool while getting bodied. Now, to provide you with the proper context with which to view this debate, it is the case that Kirsch and Kory are 2 of the biggest pieces of shit on the entire internet. They're not like some idiot flat earther or even a Graham Hancock type figure. Their lies are so vile and result in such profound harm being done to society in the way of a measurable death count that each of these assholes will get their own videos a little later. Everyone needs to know their background, the extent of their grift, and an understanding of how they can be further humiliated and neutralized. But today I want to focus on the debate only, so just take me at my word about who they are, some of which will come out during this analysis anyway. Sadly, I can't repost the debate in full, as Pangburn needs to recoup production costs, so head over to the Pangburn channel if you'd like to see the whole thing uncut. Here I'm going to give you the highlights with commentary, and Dan will jump in to give you some key information where appropriate. By the way, Dan absolutely crushed in the debate, and everyone needs to go subscribe to his channel immediately. His expertise will come in handy in this analysis, because these jerks vomited up some shady anecdotes and a whole lot of lies about papers they didn't include in the list they gave us beforehand, so we have to highlight those and do some fact-checking. The point is to show the clear contrast between their endless narratives and our mountain of empirical data. And we also have to highlight the numerous times that Dan and I trapped them in a corner so that everyone could watch them desperately try to weasel their way out and gish gallop, as these are the best moments for illustrating what disgusting grifting frauds they really are. Does that sound like a plan? Great, let's get started, right after a quick word from today's sponsor, Incogni. As you can imagine, given my profession, a lot of people
And how many?
Cogni helps wipe yourself from the internet completely.
Where
They
he
can't
really
harm you if they can't
on the
find you.
video.
Click on the link below to claim your 60% off and get your personal data off the market.
So first of all, by a show of hands, how many of you in the audience think that there is a link between vaccines and autism? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow. About 23 of you. Wow, interesting. And how many of you don't believe there is a link? Hands up.
Yeah, this should give you an idea of the crowd we will be dealing with throughout this debate. To put it nicely, morons.
Okay, so I cannot tell you how disheartening it is to hear so many people still falling for this vaccine's autism bullshit. It started with Andrew Wakefield in the 90s in the retracted Lancet study, and it's been a plague on mankind ever since. No matter how many studies are done, no matter how many hundreds of thousands or millions of children that are studied, where absolutely zero correlation is found, anti-vaxxers continue to push this myth, which is absolutely insane and utterly unfounded. Not only is there zero data to support this link, and a mountain of data disproving the link, it also just completely betrays any understanding of what autism even is. Autism is an inborn, genetic-based neurological condition. You can't catch autism. You can't get autism. You are born autistic, and then symptoms show up.
So, no, I just want to.
People.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, just kind of off the topic of the media thing, and to talk about. There's crazy news out of MD Anderson in Texas, which is maybe the nation's premier cancer treatment and research institution. People who got vaxxed against COVID, getting cancer immunotherapy, survived at twice the rate of people who didn't get vaxxed. Getting vaxxed against COVID helps you survive cancer. It's fucking crazy and awesome. But 2 years after these people got immunotherapy for very serious, hard to treat cancer, twice as many of them were alive as people who did not get vaxxed against COVID.
Yeah, just really quick, because we only got a few minutes to go and everything like that. One thing that Sasha says all the time, which is going to be interesting in this notion of all three of your shows, Sasha, is that some of your shows are very educational. I mean, Ivan does a great job, whether people agree with him or not, of providing a Ukrainian point of view with the Ukrainian media with those videos that he does at the beginning of every show. I mean, he does an amazing job of picking those videos and of them adding to the context. So it's a very informational show. The same with the chess show and everything. But one of the things I've heard you say, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I said that earlier on another show and everything, is that you don't consider the yourself necessarily a teacher on the investment show. Like a lot of the tips that Toby was giving you was how you could help other people invest. And I don't get the impression from you that you consider yourself an investment coach. Is that correct and everything like that?
I'll tell you that, for example, a few days ago, Adam Lamprella approached me and he wanted to buy 1 or 2 stocks. What I would recommend. I told him that based on today's market conditions, I believe that it's a risky situation. However, one stock that I would recommend for sure, it's Pfizer, because it's a quite stable, huge company that pays dividend. And at that, actually a very big dividend. So something around over 7%. So I would recommend that. So he was very happy with this and asked me if he should buy NVIDIA as well. And I told him, look, NVIDIA is a great company. However, stock is almost at its all-time high. It may go higher, in fact, because they have earnings report at the end of November. So if you want to get NVIDIA stock, yes, go ahead, but buy half of the number of shares that you would normally buy or you would consider to buy. If you want to buy, say, 200 shares of NVIDIA, buy 100 now. and wait with another 100, maybe after earnings report or shortly before it, but don't put all your money right away. Okay, I can do that. I can show, and normally I do. I explain people what are my holdings right now, what I bought in the last few days before the program, and why I did it. So, okay, I'm doing that, but I'm not marketing myself as a teacher or a consultant or just anything like that. I'm just telling people what I'm doing, that's all.
Right. You're telling people what you're doing, and they can follow what you're doing, then they can possibly do the same. But that's up to them and whether they have that same capabilities, because not everybody has a star capability.
Mark, a very quick question. Any of my shows, do you run as the repeats during the week?
Yes, all the shows, including Rick's, are run as repeats during the week because they have a program, and I was trying to think of the name of it. Caster is the program that they use, and I am not as much in charge of that. That's actually the engineer Sean who helps with that part of it. Well, I'm considered the program manager and the producer of most of these shows and everything. But yes, it is a run during the week. The investment show is a rerun. The chess show is rerun, and Ukraine and Russia are rerun several times, and it's actually supposed to be on the schedule. Sometimes the schedule isn't as updated as it should be, and everything like that. But yes, you should be able to even see when you will rerun.
So when are you doing updating the schedule?
I will probably update the schedule again this evening. I try to update them at the first of the week.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I'll see you around.
No problem. And we're getting ready to go to the to Timeshare, which is one of those popular shows that they were just talking about and everything. Any final comments you got, Rick, before we get ready to get out of here?
No, I missed a lot of I'm just going back to bed. You and we worked hard, long hours yesterday. I think it was worth it. It was our craziest shows yet.
I think it was crazy show, but it was a good show. I like having both Shannon and what's the other young lady that begins with a C as well?
Cassidy. We'll try to get her back for the next set of shows, or some other, lovely. Cassidy's an anarchist, so Lance is Trumpy. I'm liberal. We need to explore anarchy. Just
Cassidy's an anarchist. I got the impression that Shannon is somewhat of a healing person, kind of like some people would consider her like a star child back, or a hippie and everything along those lines and everything. And she's definitely very much which I'm find interesting, since she's one of Lance's models. I would say that she's a feminist as well, and I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody reasonable is a freaking feminist. Feminism just says that women should, have equal, as much, choice in their destiny and as guys. It's not, anything. But I want to talk to an anarchist. I want to talk to somebody who thinks that both political parties are bullshit.
And there's a number of those people out there. And there's even some anarchists that I know here in this area. So maybe I'll have them come on the show with me next time and everything like that, that you book one. But yeah, there's some anarchists here in the Durham area. I might be able to get them to stay up late and come in there and conversate.
No, I don't think I think it's not entirely a legit point of view. I think the Democrats are a lot less bad for America than Republicans, but corporate politics, where you need a shitload of money to do anything, is terrible for America.
I agree. But on that note, we're getting ready to get out of here because we got to get to the Timeshare show, and I'll catch you later.
All right. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.